Hey guys, welcome back to the Marjie Show for episode 2. Thank you for everyone who listened to episode 1. I've received an overwhelming amount of positive feedback, so thank you so much for that. And if you want to continue to stay tuned into these episodes, we've got amazing guests coming up. Please ensure that you subscribe on the YouTube channel, and that really helps us out. And so today on episode 2, we have Michael Cordner here with us. I'm so honored and blessed to have him here with us today. He's a professional boxer. He's also a youth worker, and also he's the founder of Land the Jab.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hello, Margie. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you
good.
so much for being here
No,
today.
thank you.
So before we actually get into the episode, I just wanted to share with everyone today that this episode is going to be for entertainment purposes only. We won't be curing or diagnosing any illnesses. So yeah, for entertainment purposes. So I'd love to start today with, what is something that's bringing you joy at the moment? Could be something small, could be something big. What is that?
Something small or big that's bringing me joy.
Yes.
Well, I've got a couple guys jumping on the novice state titles, a couple of fighters that I'm training, jumping on the novice state titles in August. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I know they're excited, but yeah, training them up, I've been really getting G'd up for it. It's exciting watching guys go to their first fight. There's so much uncertainty and new experiences, and it's fun. I like being around it. So yeah, that's bringing me a lot of joy at the moment.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I can imagine the energy of that, like the anticipation and like, you know, the first time doing it, like what's going to happen.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. And some of these kids are young. We've got a 14-year-old kid and a 15-year-old kid.
Wow.
And then we've got a 17-year-old jumping on too. But they're young as.
Wow.
And it's a pretty wild thing to do when you're that young. So it's cool. It's really exciting. I love being a part of it. It's good.
Wow. It would bring you so much life every day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Amazing. And I would love if you could share with everyone today what kind of, obviously I'm curious about Land the Jab, what kind of led you to start that? And maybe you want to share a little bit more about your story and whatever feels relevant.
Yeah, sure. So Land the Jab is a youth program.
Yep.
And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to fill the gap between kids who don't need any mental health intervention and kids that need clinical intervention. We're trying to fill the gap in between that. So there are a lot of kids who don't necessarily need a clinical approach to managing their mental health, but they need something and someone to kind of look out for them. So Land the Jab is supposed to bridge that gap. So we offer it as a boxing program. So we get kids in. There's a bunch of different ways we deliver it, but we get kids in from 15 to 25. We teach them boxing. And through boxing, we extract lessons about mental health and looking after yourself and resilience and things like that. I guess the reason I got into it is because I started boxing when I was very young. I had my first fight when I was 12 years old. And so all the lessons that I learnt about myself kind of came from boxing. And I really appreciate it. And I think that there's a lot of lessons in combat sports that are really valuable, especially for young boys, that I just think need more attention and more light.
So it's kind of through your journey that really inspired you to want to help others.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, if I had not stumbled into boxing, I don't know where I'd be. I'm not saying I'd definitely be worse off, but I'm just saying I feel like I would have been lost without it, especially in high school. And yeah, it's just, it brings me a lot of joy too, to give those lessons to other people. So yeah, that's kind of why we're doing it.
That's beautiful. So it was really like your anchor for your youth, like through all the challenges or anything that was going on for you, it was the place where you could go that really anchored you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's had their struggles. I had my struggles too. And it was a sport and something that consistently showed up for me, that kept me on the right path. You know, as long as I was in the gym, I knew I was doing the right thing. And that was so important for me when I was younger. And it's very important for kids who either don't have role models or feel lost or for many different reasons. I think it's really important.
Wow, that's so awesome. And is there something, thank you for sharing that. And is there an experience since you've started the Land the Jab, like maybe it's with one person or maybe it was like an event that you did that really was so satisfying and it brought you so much fulfillment? Do you have a story that you'd love to share with everyone?
Heaps. I've got heaps of stories that I'm proud of. I guess progress is all relative, right? But some of the progress I'm seeing is really wild. It's pretty cool. We do a program in Bondi, and we've been doing it for the last year or so. It's a program with Headspace and New South Wales Health. So we get those kids to come in once a week and do some boxing. And there's one kid in particular who he came in, he'd never done any exercise before pretty much in his whole life.
Yeah.
His social skills weren't very good. He's got severe mental illness and doesn't leave the house much. And he came in to a group setting, which was the boxing class that we did. And, you know, he handled it for a couple of weeks and he wasn't doing too well, but slowly, he kept showing up and kept applying himself. And now a year later, he is the life of that class. He shows up and he's like, hey, he's knuckling up with everyone. And, you know, he's like geeing people up when we're doing bag work and he's helping people out on the pads and he's talkative and making jokes and, you know, asking people if they're going to come back next week. It's like, it's a new person than what I saw when he first walked in.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, and we got lots of stories like that. And it's not necessarily just Land the Jab that's doing that. I mean, I am providing all I'm doing really is providing a platform for them to grow themselves. Like they have to do it. Like they have to show up. I'm not dragging them out of bed in the morning to get to the class. You know, I'm not driving them there. I'm just saying, hey, I'll be here at 1 p.m. And they're the ones that are showing up each time and then going home and planning and organizing and coming back again. So, you know, it's the credits to them, all those kids that actually show up and do it each day. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud of that group out there.
Yeah, amazing. Well, it's a collaboration. You're both playing your part. You've got the service and they've decided to show up and, you know, it's providing so much hope for the world. And as you said, you're providing that solution and maybe someone else is providing another solution, but you're really playing an amazing part in this world because so many people are struggling mentally. And if they don't know what's out there and they don't even know what to do, like where can they even start? So by you providing that and then seeing other people changing their life, it's so incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. It is pretty cool. And the loneliness thing is, you're right. It is trouble. There is a loss of hope and a lot of these kids are more lonely and stuff. So I think providing Land the Jab works for them. But yeah, like I said, it's all them. you know what I mean? It is all them. But it's good. It's cool. And it's good doing stuff like this. This obviously helps it get out there and help more kids. So I do appreciate that as well, obviously. Like you're providing a platform where I saw the guys that came on last week, you know, they're doing great stuff too. So there's just more positive energy going out into the world. So it's props to you as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, hope for the world. That's what, you know, we want to be able to bring conversations of impact so that everyone who is making a massive impact can continue to make more of an impact and more of an impact, and the world just becomes a better place when we all play our part, however that looks.
Yeah, 100%. It's like a feedback loop, right? I was actually talking to someone about this the other day, and he was like, you know, in the morning, if it's 7 a.m. and you're in traffic or whatever, someone like cuts you off and flips you off. When you go, you know, throughout the rest of your day, you carry that energy with you. You do. You remember that guy who flipped you off that morning, and then someone, you know, cuts in front of you in the line at the cafe, and you're like, oh, damn, this guy. And it's just like, it makes your whole day slowly go downhill from there. And it's so true. And I think there's two sides to that. One of them is don't let small things bother you that much. And the other side is, if you do get a chance, do try and make a positive impact on someone. Even just a smile when you're walking past people. I'm so bad for that. I catch myself like in the shop windows when you see the reflection of having like this resting fighter face or something. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, that's not a very approachable look. So I try to relax my stance and my mouth a little bit. But yeah, I think that's important too. I was just a thought I had the other day.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thanks for sharing that. I used to have problems with that too. Not having a very nice resting face. And then I was like, yeah, people want to see more smiles, and people like, because we get feedback from people's facial expressions. Like, we don't even need words sometimes. We just need like, yeah, we can do so much with our face. And I love that how you said there's both sides, because there totally is. One time, I was at a cafe and then I don't know what happened. I was in line and then I think I left my card at home. I was about to get a coffee and this random guy was like, don't worry, I'll pay for it. I didn't know him. I never saw him ever again. But he just decided in that moment to do one kind act and it literally brightened my whole morning. And I was like, that's unbelievable. And maybe to him that wasn't a big deal. It was just a coffee. But to me it was so kind. So yeah, on this topic, if you're listening and you can be kind and you can do something, why not do it? Like, it might not take you a lot, just saying hi or saying to someone, I love your outfit, or whatever it is. It's like, it might seem so silly, but actually it's so huge, because the negative things have the impact and then also the positive things too.
Yeah, and we're also hardwired to hang on to negative things as well, aren't we?
Yes.
If one small bad thing happened, we can hold on to that for a long time. But if a good thing happens, it's harder for us to hold on to that feeling. And I guess obviously that's because we're hardwired like that to keep us safe. But it's important to remember that you need to put more weight on the good things as well, because the bad things can overtake you pretty quickly.
So true. Yeah, it's the small reptilian brain is always scanning the environment, looking for what's bad, looking for danger, looking for what went wrong in our day. It's happening with all of us. So it's like we have to, when we work out, like if naturally it's hard for us to build muscle, we have to put more emphasis on building muscle. So we have to also do that with our brain and use it to our advantage to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that, I think, when you think about social media. It's really easy to see the world as a negative, scary, harsh place if you're scrolling, because the reels or I don't know what TikTok ones are called, but those little 5-second videos on Instagram you see, the ones that get the most views are the ones that garner reactions of fear or anger or judgment, because that's what, humans give more attention to those emotions. So it's really easy to, categorize most people as being bad, or most people as being dangerous, or that this country is a bad place, or that, this type of person is dangerous. But it's not true. It's, the small percentage that are getting pushed right to the top for us all to see are the worst parts of people, not the best parts. And it's very important to remember that. When I was knocking on, I did door-to-door sales for a little bit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was selling a cerebral palsy charity when I very first moved up here.
Yeah.
It was a hard job. It was very difficult and didn't pay very well. I would go out and I'd knock on, sometimes 150, 170 doors a day, speak to about 100 people each day. And whenever I tell people about this, everyone's first reaction is, oh, everyone must have told you to bugger off, to get off their porch.
Yeah.
Only one person ever in the 6 months that I did it, 150 doors a day, did someone actually get mad and tell me to get off the door. Most people, more than most, 99.9% of people were very nice, very respectful. They either said, oh, I'd love to, but I already donate, or whatever it was. They were respectful and generous and offered water and food, and a lot of people were like, oh, come in and have lunch with us. A lot of people were like that, and it kind of made me realize that most people are good people.
Wow.
And it's important to remember that most people are good people. If you just look and get your phone up, you get your eyes off your phone for a second, most people are good people. So yeah, I just thought that'd be important because it's true.
Awesome. And get your eyes off the phone. Anyone who's watching this, probably watching this YouTube
On your
clip
phone.
on your phone. So take a moment. If you're out in public, look up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's so true. Wow. Yeah, I've never done door-to-door sales, but I did used to work in sales.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had many different experiences with that. And I always thought, like, if I was to do door-to-door sales, you know, like people might be like, go away, get off my property. Or so that's unbelievable to hear that.
Yeah.
Did other people you work with, did they also have the same experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? The vibe at the workplace was really positive. People were, roaring to go the whole day because you're speaking to people all day and like the human interaction is just like times 10. And it puts people in a good mood. Very rarely would you get someone who spoke to 100 people in the day and they felt bad at the end of it. You would feel exhausted, but you wouldn't feel bad. You'd feel inspired and like positive and like more faith in humanity every day for sure.
Wow.
I just couldn't keep doing it because it was just exhausting. It's so much work. And I had other stuff that I wanted to do obviously, but yeah, it was a good gig. What were you selling?
So I used to sell timeshare.
Oh, true.
yeah.
Okay.
So that was pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Anyone that hears timeshare, anyone that's been to like a timeshare presentation, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you were one of those people.
Yep. That's exactly what I just thought as well.
Yeah, literally. But
Timeshare person.
but if people don't know about timeshare, then
Yeah.
they're like, what even is that? But yeah, so that was pretty hardcore. But from that experience, it was amazing because when things are more challenging and are like feel a little bit more hardcore, you learn the most, I believe. And do you feel like from that experience, are there things that you learned that now you use in your life today to be able to achieve what you want to achieve?
Oh, yeah. 6 months of sales was by far the best education for people skills I've ever got in my whole life. And I don't think you can get it doing a course or doing uni or doing anything on paper. You have to go out and do it. And for sure, like obviously sales skills are really important and you use them every day, like because you don't just sell products, you sell ideas and you sell yourself, and you sell everything. Like whenever you're trying to convince someone of something, you're selling them things. So yeah, it was really good, and I'm really grateful. And the guys I worked with were so cool too, and I still speak to some of them, and very smart guys and very, very worthwhile.
It's so true. So you guys have all heard it here. Go out and do a sales job, so then you can go. And
I didn't say that. I didn't say do a sales job.
No, you don't have to do that. I'm just kidding. So, well, I actually think sales is the best thing to do because if you can sell, you can actually do anything. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I help business owners with their speaking so then they can sell more, because if you can confidently speak, you can ask for what you want. You literally can do anything.
100%. Well, sales isn't just about people buying products.
Yeah.
Sales is the art of transferring energy. That's really what it is. It's the transfer of energy and how you can portray certain feelings and thoughts. That's really what it is. And obviously that just doesn't come down to products. So that's a great idea for people who need, even just confidence in their business. That's huge. That's actually a really good idea. Because that's important too. You have to be able to speak.
Definitely.
I was at a meeting yesterday that I was super nervous for. And it was not like a meeting I'd ever been to before. It was suits and a boardroom and this long table and a few people that are way smarter than I am. And yeah, I was nervous. And at the end of it, I was like, dude, if I hadn't done sales, I would have botched that so bad. Like there's no way I would have had the confidence to speak, and I wouldn't have been understanding what small dynamics were going on. So yeah. I'm not a sales guru, by the way. I just think it's a valuable skill.
So true. Because imagine you couldn't speak. well, how could you even come on this podcast and share about what you're doing and, and that's the thing. So many people are doing amazing things in the world, but if they can't, excuse me, if they can't share that with the world, then how can everyone know what they're doing? So I'm glad you did sales. So now you can show up and you can do podcasts and you can tell the world about Land the Jab, and then more people can change their life. And it's just a ripple effect.
Yeah, that's the
So
idea.
how did the meeting go? The one that you were nervous about?
I think it went well.
Yeah.
We'll see in the next couple of days, but I think it went all right.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Amazing. Exciting things to come.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, amazing. And so do you have a big vision for Land the Jab? Like, do you, in 5-10 years, do you have like a grandiose vision?
Yeah, of course. I would really like to see a point where there's young kids who go to the doctor who are struggling with their mental health. They go see a GP, and instead of the GP saying, here's, SSRIs or antidepressants or strong psychoactive medication, here's 10 sessions at Land the Jab, or 10 sessions at the psychologist and Land the Jab, a boxing program. Or I would love to have not just a boxing program, a music program and an adventure program as well, like hiking or rock climbing, because obviously boxing isn't going to hook everyone. It's not lost to me that boxing is specific and it's not for everyone. But I'd love to do it with all these different types of hobbies and bring a lot of people on. So when kids do feel lost and when parents feel lost as well, they feel like there's a path they can go without altering the brain chemistry of their young child, which I just think is a path we're going down at the moment. And I think it's really dangerous. And I don't think it's founded in any concrete evidence of benefits. I think it's just something that we're going to regret in a lot of years. And I think this other way of going about it, getting kids involved in programs and getting them involved in something they can be passionate about and meet other people, I think that's going to be more cost effective, and I think it's going to have a better overall benefit. So that's the grand idea.
That's
we'll
awesome.
See.
I love that.
I'm doing my best.
I love that. I believe, Well, if you have the vision and you never give up on that vision, then it has to happen. If you give up, then maybe not. But just keep going. And why do you feel like we are going down that path at the moment, the path that you don't want to see?
I think I call it a overprescription epidemic, and I really think it is. There's a few reasons why we're going down that path. I think part of it is that's always been the way that we've dealt with illnesses is medication, and for the large part, that's a good thing. For the large part, illnesses have been, some of them even cured and definitely managed better with medication and the pharmaceutical industry. I think where we've gone wrong is placing kids who are generally struggling with life in the category of illness and disorder. I think that's where we've gone wrong. And I think we're not giving kids the opportunity to deal with their own adversity in their life and grow from it. And I think that's a large disservice to the youth. And, some of these medications, Concerta, Vyvanse, Ritalin, dexamphetamine, they're really powerful drugs. They're really powerful. They are basically the exact same as crystal methamphetamine. The only real difference between something like Vyvanse and methamphetamine is that methamphetamine is slightly more fat soluble, so it'll hit you a lot quicker, and you can take more of it, and more of it will enter your system. Apart from that, these drugs are very similar, and what they do is they can rewire your brain, and after a while, your brain doesn't, the reward system's not the same. So things that you would usually get dopamine from, you won't get that release and that primal benefit from those things anymore. And that's why when kids come off them after they've been on them for 10 years and they're 25 years old, they have a crisis because nothing's going to make them happy, and they need to make a decision to either get back on the medication or be depressed. And yeah, I just don't think that's where we need to be going. And yeah, it worries me that these conversations are hard to have with people, and that a lot of people I speak to about it, some people agree, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people say that, oh, but the ADHD medication has changed my son's life. And I know it has. I know that he listens at school better, and that he's not as annoying when he's at home and he's not as loud. I know that. But there are lots of parts of his life that he's missing out on that are really important and that are going to help him through other aspects of his life. So it worries me. But, like I said, I think if we keep pushing things like Land the Jab and other programs, there's heaps of good programs that are doing similar stuff to Land the Jab. I think that's a much better way to go.
Thanks for sharing that. And what kind of, when you bring this up with people, I know there's many people you speak with, what's kind of their reactions when you say things like this?
Well, it's definitely controversial. And considering I'm not a doctor, it's more controversial because I'm not.
Yeah.
And, people trust doctors. As I haven't been to uni for 7 years to talk about this, but I have Google and I can figure some stuff out. Mostly the reaction is, yeah, but it works for us right now. And there's not really much I can say to that. If
Of course.
a parent, it's not my kid. If you've made the decision to medicate your child, it's not really my business, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually the reaction is, well, I don't really care about any of the issues because it's working for us right now, and that's all that matters. So, and honestly, I don't really blame the parents, because some of the literature surrounding ADHD medication in children is, I want to say, misleading. It's misleading. The Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne, on their website, it specifically states, quote, ADHD medication is not addictive for children. It says that. It says that it's not addictive, which is ridiculous. Any drug organization on the planet can tell you that amphetamines are addictive, especially dexamphetamine. It's super addictive. There's people in rehab all over the world for dexamphetamine. And they also say that there are no withdrawal symptoms. There are none. There are no withdrawal symptoms. This is what the Royal Children's Hospital says, which also isn't true. There are heaps of withdrawal symptoms. You can get psychosis from amphetamine withdrawal. So I don't necessarily blame the parents, because if they read that, or they go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh, go do some research, and they do some research, that's what they find. And it's crazy to me. I don't know how they can get away with saying that. But that's what it says.
Here we are.
Yeah. It's crazy, hey?
So, excuse my ignorance, so amphetamines are in the ADHD medication, or
Yeah. So stimulants or amphetamines are the main medication for children with ADHD. So you usually get dexamphetamine, or like Dexies, Concerta, Ritalin, or Vyvanse. Vyvanse is much stronger. They usually use that in adults more, but they still give it to kids. And basically what they do is they act on your norepinephrine receptors, and they'll increase your norepinephrine to make you more alert, more focused, and more awake, which I know sounds counteractive for kids who have ADHD, but again, I'm not a doctor. It seems to balance people out. The other main medication they give kids with ADHD is SNRIs, which are selective norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, which is they're under the branch of antidepressants. So they're not stimulants. They have a slightly similar method of action, but they're more subtle, and they just act slightly differently. But those two are the main ones.
Wow. And have you seen people in Land the Jab, maybe they stopped taking them and they had psychosis or withdrawals or?
I haven't
no?
seen that myself.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen kids stop taking it.
Okay.
But I've seen people stop taking it. I was in rehab when I was younger. I've been to rehab twice for Xanax, which is a benzodiazepine, which is like a anti-anxiety medication.
Okay.
Xanax, Valium, they're all the same class. They're benzodiazepines, the same class.
Yeah.
So I was in rehab for them, and I spoke to a lot of people in rehab. Most of them were there for alcohol. It was alcohol, opioids, and amphetamines mostly. And the opioids and amphetamines, for all of them, they were prescribed to them. This is just my group. I'm not saying that. I'm not making any data about it. I'm just saying in the group that I had, they were struggling with amphetamine and opioid addiction, and they were prescribed. They either had a sore back and they were getting lots of opioids, or they had ADHD or whatever, and they were getting amphetamines. And those withdrawal symptoms were real. They were real, and they knew that they were addicted, and they talked about what it felt like and craving. And we went through this whole rehab process, and we did group sessions where we would talk about how to manage amphetamine cravings. That's why it's so difficult for me when I see on the Royal Children's Hospital website that there are no withdrawals. It drives me a little bit nuts because I know that there is. I know that there is. So yeah, we have had a lot of kids in Land the Jab who are medicated, obviously, and not all of it's bad medication. Some of the kids definitely need it, and some of them definitely don't. And it's a hindrance for them, and it's going to make their lives harder in the future. That's the reality.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing your experience and what you've been through. I'm sure it wasn't easy, and you're now able to, be on the other side of that and overcome that. So that's incredible, because now you can help so many. And then that's why you now feel so passionately about this, and because you don't want other people to suffer.
Yeah.
Or like how you suffered.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being on the other side of it, maybe it's not really something like addiction and stuff like that. You don't really go through it and then you put it behind you. You have to stay quite vigilant about it. And I never really feel like I'll be fully done with it. But yeah, it's much easier for me to manage now. But yeah, you just got to stay vigilant with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And staying stuck to your purpose and what you're creating in this world, do you feel like that's obviously
that's a huge part of it. Yeah.
A big calling.
Yeah.
Like pulling you forward.
Yeah, it's definitely my purpose. I don't know why really, or where it's come from, or I don't know why I'm so passionate about it, but I am. I think it's really important, and it is really heartbreaking for me to see kids who are just normal young kids who just won't sit still at school, getting told they have a disorder and being shut out in that sort of way, when really all they need is something to do. It's just it really it breaks my heart and makes me really mad. And yeah, that's why I find so much passion in Land the Jab, because at least for that little bit, for that one session, I know that they're getting better for a bit.
Yes. And some people just don't like school. They don't want to, they're not interested in the topics that are being talked about. And that's okay. Yeah. Some of the billionaires in the world, they left school.
Yeah.
And they're doing amazing things. So
I think we're at a point now where everyone can agree that school isn't for everyone. So I think most people have that general consensus that school isn't for everyone. But you can't just medicate the kids that it's not for. You know what I mean? You can't just change their brain chemistry to force them to fit in. Like, that's not going to work. That's going to come unstuck one day. That's basically what grinds my gears the most, is that everyone will say, oh yeah, school's not for everyone, but it has to be for everyone.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think so.
You just wanted to be a boxer, didn't you? Like when you were not just a boxer, but you wanted to be a boxer when you were younger.
Yeah, well, I basically wanted to do anything that wasn't at school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to fight. I didn't care about maths and humanities and stuff like that. I didn't care about it at all. And yeah, that was really tough for me, I think, when I was young, when I said that, I just don't want to do this. And I got told that I was either lazy or stupid, or that I was going nowhere because of that. And I knew deep down that I wasn't lazy. I knew it. I was training every day and I was fighting, and fighting's hard. Yes. I knew I wasn't lazy. And I knew I wasn't stupid because I knew stupid people, and I knew I wasn't one of them. And I knew deep down that I wasn't going to be a failure. So I could not understand why just not liking school equaled failure and a burden on society. And some of the things I got told when I was 14 and 15 by teachers, parents and friends and stuff, like, hurt, and I couldn't really understand it at the time.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's not fair, really.
No. But look at you now. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're lazy.
Well, it's debatable.
Everyone the audience can decide. You can let us know.
Yeah, this Michael guy's lost it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a really powerful conversation. Really, really powerful. Because, yeah, if your child is in school and school's just not for them, like, that's okay, Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's also okay for them to go to school and not like it.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
There is power in pushing through stuff like that. That's what I didn't understand. I'm only starting to understand this as I get older, that there is actually a lot of power in not liking something and still showing up and doing it. It's true. There's a lot of lessons in adversity, and there's a lot of beauty in adversity too. Adversity shapes some of the strongest, smartest minds that we've ever known. And you don't want to shield your kids from adversity. No. You definitely don't want to do that. But it's tough for parents because they see that their kids are going to school and they hate it and they're restless, and the teachers are coming home saying, have you thought about getting your kid tested for ADHD? And so they do it, and they're trying to do the right things and help their kid out. But yeah, I think it's a disservice to kids to not let them experience adversity. And that's what I say to kids when we're going to their first fight. Not even kids, I say to adults as well who are having their first fight. I say, what you're about to do isn't normal, and you don't have to do it, okay? And every part of your body is telling you to turn and run the other way. But there's a small voice inside of your head that's telling you to do it. So we're not here to win. I don't care about winning at all. We're here to nurture that little voice inside of your head that's telling you to keep going, because that voice inside your head knows something that you don't. It knows that there's beauty in adversity, and it knows that there's a direct relationship between the things that you want and the things that you're willing to do. And it knows that the best things in life sometimes come packaged in pain and hardship. So we're going to go out there and we're going to learn so much about life in the next 9 minutes and enjoy it, because after this 9 minutes, your life is never going to be the same. You ready? Always G's them off that one.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah. But it's true.
I'm ready to fight now.
You're ready to fight. Oh,
Let's go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a good speech. But it's true.
It's true because no one wants to fight. And when they get to 5 minutes before, they're like, holy shit, why am I doing this? Like, this is terrifying. But it's important to remember that there's a reason you're doing it, and this will help you. hard things can be beneficial.
Oh yeah, and you find so much strength within you that you never knew you even had when you're faced with adversity or hardship. Because if you don't actually experience them, how do you know what you're made of? If
Exactly.
everything's easy, if everything's cushy, you know?
100%. And that's what a lot of adults have a problem with, is they don't know how tough they are. They don't know how far they can actually go. You know, and it makes it hard to take opportunities and take on new things because they think, well, I've got this idea for a business. Can I start this business? Do I have the grit to push through when it gets hard? They don't know. They don't know if they've got it in them to push past it. And that's why fighting is a very clean metaphor for life, because you'll find out in one fight, you'll find out how far you're willing to go. You will. And it's a very valuable lesson to carry with you throughout your life.
Yeah, wow, that's true. I never saw it like that, because I guess life can throw you adversity, but if you choose to go and face adversity by going and fighting and stepping there into the ring, that's like, what would you say, like a quick way to see what
Yeah.
you're made of?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 10 years of life coaching condensed into 9 minutes.
Yeah.
A boxing fight. It really is. And I think it's really important for people. I'm biased, and I know this is a bit of a ridiculous thing to say, but I think everyone should have a fight at least once in their life. I've just never seen one fight have a negative impact on someone's life. I've always seen it give them more insight and perspective and confidence, and it's really good. It's really valuable for them. But there is other stuff. It doesn't have to be fighting. There's heaps of other stuff you can do, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
just don't do any other sports. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think doing hard things is important. And like I was saying before, so much wisdom has come from adversity. A lot of the, things that we see and the people we look up to, they come from adversity. And that's why it's such a shame that, I used to work at a school in Campbelltown, or Eds, in southwestern Sydney. And those kids are tough. Those kids are really tough, and they don't complain. They just wake up and grind through it every day. And those kids know hardship, real hardship. Like, some of the stories literally make you sick to your stomach about what's happening at home to some of those kids. But they push through. And I think if we can kind of shine a spotlight on that and give these kids a voice, and even the adults around there, give them a voice, we can learn so much from these people. We can learn so much. And these people usually aren't the people that have 100,000 followers and do ice baths and stuff in the morning. They're usually not, so they don't get that voice. But there's so much wisdom out there, and there's so much that everybody can learn from those people out there who are doing it really tough. So it'd be good to find a way to bring those voices to light, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. If there's a way that we can do that, then yeah, because there is wisdom in this, in the struggle. And so yeah, if you're listening and going through a hard time at the moment, that's actually your biggest gift. You might not have another moment like this that is so challenging, whether it's financially or whatever it is, and embrace that moment, because you can really find what you're made of and just unleash the most powerful version of yourself. But if you try and numb out and you try and skip that moment of pain or struggle, you don't actually have the opportunity to rise even higher. So actually it's your greatest gift, but it's the most painful time. And I know in my life, all the painful periods of my life, I didn't want them to happen. I was like, why is this happening to me? But I look back and I'm like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't be where I am right now. Like, I wouldn't have the character that I have, the courage that I have without those times. But when you're in it, you're like, Can it just hurry up and go
Of
away?
course, yeah.
So, and we
It's
all
true.
experience it. We're all humans. So you can't really avoid that.
No, I think Alex Volkanovski, he's the UFC featherweight champion. He's from Wollongong. He said that he won his last fight. He got on the microphone and he said, "Adversity is a gift," and he's right. And I thought that was quite powerful because it's similar to what you were saying just now. I think it is a gift, and there is a lot you can learn from it. But it is so hard, especially when you're younger, to understand that. Especially if it's, if shit has really hit the fan for the first time in your life, it is so hard to see that this can be a good thing. And people will say it to you, and people who are older and wiser than you will say, "Oh, you'll come out of this stronger and better," and you won't believe them. And you just have to trust, and just one day at a time, wake up and go again, and trust that one day, if you keep showing up for yourself, it will get better.
It's so true, because I'm sure you've heard that when you're going through challenging times, people would say, "Yeah, it's going to be better. Don't worry, you'll see the light." And people have said that to me as well. But it never really helps in that moment, because they're not feeling the pain that you're feeling. So you just
Exactly.
stop talking,
Exactly.
stop saying that.
And it's easy to harbor resentment for people like that. I remember when I was in rehab for the first time, a lot of people saying that, like, "Oh, just get through this. You'll be stronger. Like, hard times don't last," and stuff. And I just wanted to say to those people, yeah, but you're not stuck in a room that you can't leave withdrawing right now, are you? Like,
Yeah.
and it's really easy to get combative at those people. But yeah, they're right.
Yeah.
As much as you don't want them to be, they're right.
Literally.
And it's only you that can save you. So
Yes. And in those hard times, I would say, from what I've seen, all the people that I've worked with and all the conversations that I've had, it's about really being there for the people that you love, but you might not even have to say that, like, it's going to get better. Just knowing that, like, you're there and supporting them, like, going through this hard time, because some people kind of want to, like, take other people's pain away, or like take the circumstances away, like save them. But actually, this is the perfect time for someone who's going through something to really embrace it and use that to, like, build their character. So you don't even really want to, like, take that pain away,
no.
but you want people there that love you and support you and that are there for you. So, I mean, what would you say to someone that wants to be there for someone they love and they're going through a hard time? How could they do that better?
Well, I think being there for someone takes form in lots of different ways, depending on what type of relationship you have with the person. But I think being there for someone in the good times and the bad is really important. And I know that sounds cliche, but if you really want to be there for someone, when they text you and say, "Hey, I'm having the worst day ever," you're there for them and you just listen. Or when they text you and say, "Hey, like, stuff's going great, like, I just got a new job," or whatever, like, you back them and, like, yes, like, let's go. And if you do that for them, then they'll know that whatever happens in their life, at least someone's going to be there for them. I think that's a really important role if you're trying to look after people. But it's not always easy. It's easier said than done. Obviously, being in rehab and knowing people in some of that scene, some people can't, like, sometimes you have to distance yourself from people. It's not as easy as just being there for someone sometimes, especially with addiction. Sometimes you have to distance yourself, and that's sometimes the hardest thing people have to do, is when they realize that there's nothing I can do to help, and it's just making it harder for me and them, and I just have to, distance. There's people that I was really, really close with growing up that I still hold love for, but I can't message them, and I can't talk to them, and it's sad and it's hard, but sometimes it's just the way it goes, and you have to be ready to walk away if that sort of stuff does go on.
Yeah, it's so true. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like that will be powerful for a lot of people listening, for sure. And is there anything exciting that you're working on at the moment, or anything that's coming up? I know you shared something at the start, but anything else that's like you're really looking forward to, excited
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few things. That land the jab, a few things with some other things. I can't really say anything about them yet,
That's
obviously,
okay, of
until they're
course.
more
Yeah.
concrete. But yeah, there are a lot of things going on. I'm excited for it to get a little bit warmer in Bondi, so I can get back to walking around with shorts on, which is part of the reason I moved up here from cold Melbourne. I moved up here to get better weather. Now it's freezing cold every day.
I know.
But yeah, I'm mostly excited for that.
For the sun.
To get back to the more. But yeah, there's a few good things going on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We're actually both from Victoria, so we're hanging out for the sun in Sydney.
It's cold, hey?
Yes.
It's
but I
cold.
do like being able to wear fur coats, so that's the only thing I like about
Yeah,
winter.
I don't wear that much
You don't wear
fur, so
fur
I've just got jumpers and long sleeves and stuff. That's all I've got.
Yeah. And is there any way that the audience can support you, because you're doing amazing things in this world, and I would love to see Land the Jab grow even more and more. So how can people support you and give back to you?
Yeah, sure. So we got the Instagram, obviously follows and shares and likes and that sort of stuff really does help. That's just at Land the Jab. And we've got the website www.landthejab.com. And you can buy merch, you can buy shirts and shorts through there. There's even a donation page there too. So we're completely non-for-profit. We're not making any money. We never plan to. So yeah, any of those donations would really go a long way to helping people that need it.
Yeah, amazing. Awesome. So you heard that. If you want to give back in any way that you possibly can. And is there anything final that you would like to say or share with everyone before we finish up this episode?
No, I think that's it. I think we're good. Follow the pages. Follow, what's your Instagram? Marjie?
Yeah, Marjie Gorman.
Yep. Follow that one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, we want to be able to bring more conversations of impact. And that was such a powerful conversation with Michael today. Thank you for sharing your story, your experiences, what you're doing in the world. It's so powerful. And just being able to hear that there's so much hope and possibility for the world, and for those who are going through hard times, knowing that there's actually things out there like Land the Jab or whatever else is going on, that there is hope, there is possibilities for a brighter future. And so thank you so much for tuning in today for episode 2. Can't wait to see you on the next podcast episode. Thank you so much.